think the role of the intellectual community is always to be intellectuals, and that means to be open to ideas, open to new concepts, think experimentally, and be prepared to ask questions. I mean, I think the role of intellectuals is to ask the awkward questions, and you shouldn't be going out for popularity. I mean, if you want to be liked, then you won't do those sorts of things. I mean, nobody wants, I mean, not nobody, but I mean, who wants the person around who says, look, I'm sorry, I don't agree with you, what you've been saying is absolute rubbish for the following reasons. But that's our job. I mean, our job is to grapple with ideas, our job is to ask the awkward questions, our job is to challenge received wisdom. I mean, one of the things I think is very important for every generation, and now is important for your generation, is not to accept as granted and solid the wisdom that is passed down from above, from the older generation or from elites. I mean, you know, there's so many, I'm a historian, and there's so many examples in history of people believing firmly in things which turn out later to be absolutely wrong. And so I think we should always keep our minds open, and that's particularly important for intellectuals, to possibilities, to alternatives, to challenges, and we must ask the difficult questions. That's our job.
So finally, you know, what about how it is that you as scholars, while you're sitting here in this university, can do to contribute to better government? You know, first I would start with the personal. You can really start using this time in an academic place to think about your values. What are your values? On what are they founded? What are the foundations of them? Because the kind of moral compass that you put together now in your lives is one that you will need all your life, and nowhere as much as you will need it if you go into politics, where every single day you're having to make trade-offs. So the first thing is use this time to reflect deeply on your own life values and purposes, and your own community's life and purposes. The second thing is be active while you're a scholar. Think about your own government and how it is that your own government is held to account, and think about, in the issues that matter to you, what you're doing to hold your government to account, because all governments need that, and you can be contributing in your own way for the entire time that you're a scholar. And then third, your scholarship can help, and about this I feel passionately, that by becoming a real expert in an area of policy, you can contribute. It's easy to think that you're a student and you perhaps feel you don't know a lot about an issue, but consider the following. Almost no one else in the world gets to spend all of their working day focusing on one issue in the way that you do as a student. So you really can become expert in an issue and use that expertise to help inform policy. So I would say even now, as experts, you can be informing policy by in all kinds of ways, depending on which country you're from, through government, collectively with other scholars, influencing government, and that's for you to explore.
I can only report that the rest of us have great expectations of you, that you can bring your minds unprejudiced, greater objectivity and more open-mindedness. To some extent we would say your idealism, to bring all this to bear on these problems and bring greater objectivity in your analysis of these issues.